Imagine your brain as a super complex machine programmed hundreds of thousands of years ago. The software within it, the emotional response system, was designed for an age of predators and caves, not for meeting rooms, emails, or deadlines. Every time you feel stressed, anxious, or angry, that ancient software is being activated. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a lion and an angry boss. It only knows danger. React. The central character of this story is the amygdala, a tiny yet powerful part of the brain responsible for fear and panic responses. When the amygdala becomes overactive, you lose access to rational thought. You say things you shouldn't, act before thinking, make decisions out of fear. That's why when someone yells at you, your heart races, your breath shortens, and your mind fogs over. You're not weak. You're simply being ruled by your ancient system. But the good news is this: you can hack that brain. When you practice calmness, especially through breathing, meditation, or focused awareness, your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that governs logic, awareness, and decision-making, grows stronger. Research shows that after just 8 weeks of consistent practice, the brain's structure visibly changes. The prefrontal cortex thickens, neural connections deepen, and the amygdala actually shrinks. This means you react less and you gain more control. When you are calm, your brain operates on a different frequency. Your heartbeat steadies, stress hormones like cortisol drop, while serotonin and dopamine, the chemicals of focus and happiness, are released. You become clearer, quicker, and, most importantly, unshaken by others' emotions. That is the true power of calm, not the absence of emotion, but mastery over it. Think of calmness as a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Each time you stay composed in a difficult situation, you're reprogramming your brain so that calm becomes the default, not an effort. Eventually, you won't try to be calm, you are calm. And when that happens, something fascinating occurs. People around you begin to sense it. Your stillness confuses them, sometimes even intimidates them, because they can't read you. In a world where everyone reacts impulsively, the calm person holds the real power. True strength does not lie in making others afraid, but in making them reflect upon themselves in the quiet of your presence. That is both the science and the art of serenity. If the mind is the software that runs your entire life, then the breath is the keyboard. Every inhale and exhale sends a direct signal to your nervous system, determining whether you're in a state of battle or peace. Yet most modern humans breathe the wrong way. We breathe fast, shallow, hurried, as if some invisible threat were always chasing us. The result? The body stays in a constant red alert, rapid heartbeat, racing thoughts, and energy burned on imagined fears. Ancient samurai warriors, Tibetan monks, even modern Navy SEALs, all discovered the same secret. When you control the breath, you control both the mind and the body. The breath is the only bridge between two worlds, the conscious and the subconscious. It can pull you out of chaos or push you deeper into crisis. The key lies in intentional control. One of the most powerful techniques validated by science is the 4-7-8 breathing method. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. It sounds almost too simple, yet its effects are immediate. When you inhale deeply for 4 seconds, you signal to your body, everything is safe. When you hold for 7, you allow oxygen to spread through your cells, steadying your brain. And when you exhale slowly for 8 seconds, you activate the vagus nerve, the pathway running from your brain down to your heart, lungs, and internal organs. This nerve is the switch that turns on the rest and digest mode. When it's activated, heart rate slows, blood pressure stabilizes, and stress hormones plummet. Your body simply cannot maintain anxiety while the vagus nerve is engaged. That's pure biology. Just 3 cycles of this breathe, hold, release rhythm, and you'll feel a tangible shift. Your shoulders drop. Your gaze softens. Your voice slows down. That's not pretending to be calm. That's reclaiming command over your body. In tense moments, a heated meeting, a disagreement, or the rise of anger, you can use this technique without anyone noticing. On the outside, you are silent. On the inside, you are restoring neural order. The beauty of breathwork is that it doesn't just extinguish stress in the moment. With regular practice, it retrains the entire nervous system. You begin to live from a place of stillness, unpulled by emotion, untouched by chaos. Each breath becomes a quiet reminder, I am here. I am in control. Practicing the 4-7-8 technique every day, especially in the morning and before sleep, is a simple yet powerful ritual. It requires no belief, only discipline. The breath is always with you. It costs nothing, needs no tools, only attention. And when you master it, you hold the most silent weapon of inner power. About 2,000 years ago, among the marble halls of Rome and the sword-laden battlefields, there lived a man who ruled an empire, yet spent each morning writing about calmness. He was Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who believed that true power lies not in armies, money, or praise, but in the ability to keep the mind undisturbed. In his book Meditations, Marcus wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment about it." That single line captures the essence of Stoicism, the philosophy of self-control, reason, and serenity. The Stoics believe that while the world is never within our control, our reactions always are. And within that understanding lies freedom. They called this principle the dichotomy of control. Everything in life falls into two categories: what we can control, thoughts, actions, reactions, choices. What we cannot control, the weather, what others say, outcomes, fate. Every worry, anger, or fear arises from confusing the two. When you try to change what lies beyond your power, you only drain your energy. But when you focus on what's within your reach, your attitude, your decisions, your responses, you not only regain peace but become stronger than ever. It may sound philosophical, yet modern science has confirmed this truth. When you accept reality instead of resisting it, the brain shifts from fight mode to adaptation. Activity in the prefrontal cortex increases, allowing you to see situations more clearly and make wiser decisions. Conversely, when you cling to what you cannot change, the amygdala flares up, driving you to act out of fear. In other words, acceptance is the highest form of control. Practicing Stoicism doesn't require you to become a philosopher. It begins simply with one question: is this within my control? If the answer is yes, act with reason. If it's no, let go. Don't try to change others. Don't resist the rain, just adjust the way you walk through it. Each time you choose the right response, you are teaching your brain that calmness is strength, not weakness. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. When you understand that truth, you cease to be a victim of life, you become its navigator. And that is the secret of inner freedom. Before you speak a word, your body has already spoken for you. In every room, every meeting, every conversation, people read you not through words, but through posture, gaze, gestures, and breath. Body language is humanity's oldest instinct, older than speech itself. And when you learn to control it, you gain a subtle kind of power, the power of presence. Observe a lion before it attacks. It doesn't roar, it doesn't rush. It is utterly still. That silence commands the jungle's attention. Humans are no different. The stillness of the body, no tensing, no trembling, no unnecessary motion, sends a deep signal. I'm in control of this situation. While anxious people fidget, tap their feet, play with their hair, or give nervous smiles, truly strong individuals know how to remain still. Research from Harvard University shows that just 2 minutes in a power pose, for example, standing tall, shoulders open, chin slightly lifted, increases testosterone, the confidence hormone, by 20% and decreases cortisol, the stress hormone, by 25%. This means that simply by standing differently, you change your body's chemistry. The body doesn't just express emotions, it creates them. So every morning, spend 2 minutes standing tall, breathing deeply, opening your shoulders, keeping your gaze forward. You're not pretending to be confident. You're programming your body to activate confidence. In conversation, tilt your head down by about 10 degrees. Not arrogant, not submissive, just enough to project calm authority. This is the angle humans have long recognized as a signal of safe power, strong yet non-threatening. Pay attention to your hands. When you hide them in your pockets, cross your arms, or move them constantly, others sense insecurity. But when your hands are visible and still, you radiate trust. In the science of nonverbal communication, hands are symbols of intention. Our ancestors needed to see another's hands to know whether they carried a weapon, so open, steady hands instinctively make others feel safe and show respect. More important than anything else is restraint in movement. Strong people never carry excess energy. They move with intention, speak with a slow rhythm, keep a steady gaze, and breathe deeply. It is stillness that makes them stand out in a crowd. In a world where everyone is trying to prove themselves, the one who stands quietly with silent confidence draws the most attention. Because true power does not lie in how much space you occupy, but in how the space around you changes when you enter it. In the age of social media, where everyone competes to speak, share, debate, and shout for attention, silence has become a revolutionary act. We are taught that to be respected, we must speak more, speak faster, and speak louder. But the truth is the opposite. The one who knows when to remain silent is the one others instinctively take seriously. Silence is not the absence of voice. It is a subtle language of power. When you speak less, each word carries more weight. When you pause instead of reacting, you make others fill the space with their own thoughts, anxieties, or justifications. Silence doesn't just make you seem calm, it makes others reveal themselves. Psychology calls this phenomenon the fear of silence. In conversation, even a 3-second pause can make people uncomfortable. They rush to speak again, explain further, or reveal something they never intended to say. The one who holds power in dialogue is not the one who speaks the most, but the one who controls the rhythm of silence. Next time someone finishes speaking, don't rush to reply. Count quietly, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Let the silence do the work for you. You'll notice the other person begin to adjust. They speak again, repeat themselves, or weaken. And you remain composed. Because silence is the frame upon which power appears. Silence is also a powerful tool of persuasion. When you speak and then pause, your listener focuses more intently. They must digest each word, each idea. Psychologists call this the processing load. When you speak 30% slower than normal, the listener's brain works harder to interpret your message, making them remember more and perceive you as more substantial. That's why great leaders and orators speak less, speak slowly, and let silence speak for them. But the most important thing is the intention behind your silence. Don't use it to punish or manipulate. Use it to observe, to listen, and to create space for truth. When you don't interrupt, you hear more, not just words, but emotions, fears, and insecurities hidden within another's voice. Silence allows you to read what the ear cannot hear. Your calmness in silence forces others to confront themselves. In arguments, when someone grows angry, they want to pull you into their chaos. But if you remain quiet, your gaze steady, your breath even, they begin to lower their voice. You have won not by force, but by the steadfastness of stillness. So, practice this. Every day, in every conversation, let silence become the punctuation of self-control. Not every gap needs to be filled. Sometimes, true strength lies in knowing when nothing needs to be said. In Japanese martial arts, Aikido is an art not of attack, but of redirection, using your opponent's energy against them without violence. But Aikido doesn't exist only on the mat. It is a way of life. And when applied to emotions, it becomes the art of unshakable calm. In every confrontation, where emotions rise, where anger and panic rule, most people do the same thing. They react. They respond instantly, raise their voices, argue, defend. But that's exactly when they lose control. Because when you react, you are letting others control your emotions. They press the button, you spring up. They shout, you shout back. Both lose. Emotional Aikido teaches the opposite. When others lose control, you become even calmer. Like water, not colliding but flowing through the gaps. Like wind, not resisting but gliding past. Calmness is not weakness, it is the highest strategy of control. Science calls this emotional contagion. Emotions spread, faster and more powerfully than words. When someone is angry, their heart races, their voice rises, their breath quickens. The body of the person facing them automatically mirrors that rhythm. That's why one anxious person can make an entire room tense. But for the same reason, calmness can spread too. When you keep your voice low, your gaze steady, your breath deep, and your posture firm amid emotional storms, you become the axis of the room. People begin to synchronize with your energy. Their anger finds no grip. Their brains enter a state of cognitive dissonance, a conflict between expectation and reality. They expect you to react, but you stay composed. They try to pull you into their chaos, but you don't engage. And in that space, they are forced to recalibrate. Try this. Next time someone raises their voice at you, lower yours instead. Keep your eyes steady but not defiant. Relax your shoulders, breathe in slowly. 4 seconds in, hold for 7, exhale for 8. In that moment, you are redirecting their emotion without a single touch. That is Aikido of the mind. The weak are swept away by the emotions of others. The strong use those emotions as fuel for their own stillness. Once you master this art, every argument becomes a meditation practice, and every outburst around you becomes an opportunity to train. Because you cannot control the storm, but you can become its center, where everything is calm. Confidence is not a gift you are born with. No one is born possessing it. Confidence is a neural signal, a sequence of connections in the brain that activates each time you take action, again and again, until the brain believes, I can do this. And the beautiful truth is, you can create that signal anytime you choose. Neuroscientific studies show that the brain cannot distinguish between real and imagined actions. When you act confident, stand tall, look straight ahead, speak slowly, your brain activates the same neural pathways as when you truly are confident. This means you can pretend until it becomes real, not as a deception, but as a rewiring of your own nervous system. Confidence is not about knowing everything, it's about trusting that whatever happens, you can handle it. It isn't arrogance, it's ease with yourself. Truly confident people have nothing to prove, they only need to be fully present. Start with the simplest and hardest exercise, look into your own eyes. Every morning, before touching your phone or opening your email, stand in front of the mirror, take a deep breath, and look into your eyes for 30 seconds. No judgment, no forced smile, just quiet observation. You'll feel uncomfortable at first because you're facing the truest part of yourself. No masks, no roles. But if you persist, after a few days, something remarkable happens. That gaze becomes familiar, steady, and warm. This isn't a spiritual ritual, it's behavioral neuroscience. When you maintain eye contact with yourself, your nervous system gradually learns that looking and being seen is not a threat, but a signal of safety. Each time you do it, you strengthen the confidence circuit, the network of neurons responsible for stability and self-assurance. After a few weeks, you'll notice subtle shifts. Your shoulders stand taller, your voice deepens, your reactions slow down. You no longer try to appear confident. You are confidence itself. But remember, confidence isn't the feeling I'm better than others. It's the quiet knowing I'm grounded enough not to compare. And truly confident people don't impose, don't boast, don't seek approval. They radiate an energy that makes others feel safe, as if everything around them is under control. And that is the essence of the confidence circuit. It's built through action, not words. It's forged through habit, not inheritance. It's sustained by alignment between the inner and the outer self. When you master this circuit, the outer world may be noisy, but inside you there is stillness. And within that stillness, confidence is no longer something you perform. It's something you emit. In every group, whether in a tense boardroom or a friendly gathering, invisible currents of energy flow. People don't just exchange words, they exchange emotions. When someone is tense, the group becomes restless. When someone laughs, the atmosphere softens. This is social dynamics, and the one who controls their own emotions shapes the emotions of everyone else. This isn't magic, it's biology. Humans are equipped with mirror neurons, brain cells that allow us to copy the feelings of others. When someone is anxious, our brain synchronizes with their heartbeat and facial expressions. When someone is calm, we too begin to relax. That's why calm people are seen as natural leaders, even without any formal authority. The most effective teams in history, whether armies, companies, or creative collectives, have always had an emotional axis. One or a few individuals who maintain emotional stability. They are like pillars in the storm, unshaken, giving others something to hold on to. When tension rises, eyes turn toward them. When conflict erupts, they are the ones who speak the least, yet their words carry the greatest weight. You don't need power to have influence. You only need a higher level of emotional stability than the environment around you. When others speed up, you slow down. When someone yells, you lower your voice. When the meeting room is in chaos, you sit still, observe, and speak only one sentence, when it truly matters. In that moment, you are no longer just a participant. You are the emotional thermometer of the room, the one everyone unconsciously relies on to recalibrate their state. Calm people don't lead others through commands. They lead through their inner state. When you are at ease, others naturally relax. When you are focused, others become less distracted. When you remain composed amid tension, they begin to believe that everything will be all right. You don't need to prove your strength. People can feel it. This is a subtle yet profound shift in social dynamics. You no longer chase the crowd's energy, you become the source of it. You no longer react to the atmosphere, you shape it. That is power without authority, the kind that makes others respect you without knowing why. When you become the emotional axis of a group, you don't just make others feel safer, you help them become better versions of themselves. And in a chaotic world, that is not just a skill, it's a responsibility. Because your calm is not only for you. It is the guiding light for those still caught in the storm of their own emotions. No one becomes calm just by reading a book or listening to an inspiring talk. Calmness is not knowledge, it is habit. Like a muscle, it weakens if you don't train it. Calm people are not born with that temperament. They cultivate it, breath by breath, moment by moment, every single day. The first thing you need is a morning ritual, a time reserved for yourself before the world grows noisy. Think of the first 20 minutes of your day as a fortress protecting your mind. During that time, don't touch your phone, don't check the news, don't let the outside world intrude. There is only you and your breath. Start with 5 minutes of deep breathing, perhaps the 4-7-8 technique you learned earlier. Inhale, hold, exhale, repeat. Each breath is a reminder that you are alive in this moment. Next, spend 5 minutes with your body. Stand tall, open your shoulders, stretch lightly. Feel the weight of your feet grounded to the earth. This is not just physical exercise. It's reconnection with the body, the foundation of every emotional state. Then take 10 minutes for visualization. Close your eyes and imagine yourself walking through the day, the difficult meeting, the awkward conversation, the upcoming challenge. But this time you respond differently. Calm, clear, grounded. That image imprints in your mind as a new script. Science shows that the brain doesn't distinguish between imagination and real experience. When you visualize calmness, your brain is rehearsing it. This practice isn't about perfection. Don't aim for a transcendent meditative state or complete control. Just be a little better than yesterday. Today you react more gently to a harsh comment. Tomorrow you keep your breath steady under pressure. Each day, note one thing. How many times today did I choose calm over chaos? Even once is enough. Because each time you choose calm, you strengthen the neural pathways of control. After 2 weeks, you'll feel the shift. After 4 weeks, others will notice. After 8 weeks, your brain physically rewires. And after 12 weeks, you will almost be a different person, not because the world has softened, but because you have become steadier. Don't treat this practice as an obligation. See it as a daily meeting with yourself, a moment to recharge your inner peace. The world will keep testing you. If you don't prepare intentionally, you will react instead of lead. Each morning, each breath, each choice is a brick. Day by day, you are building a fortress of stillness within. And one day, when the world trembles, you'll realize you no longer need to try to be calm. You are calm. At some point, you'll realize that you no longer need to practice calmness. You are calmness itself. It is no longer a skill, a strategy, or a breathing technique. It has become your state of being. And when that happens, you'll notice something strange. People begin to feel uneasy, even unsettled, simply because of your silence. Not because you are cold or distant, but because your stability exposes their chaos. When you no longer react, those who are used to controlling others through emotions suddenly lose their grip. They will test you, mock you, provoke you, try to make you react, because only when you lose your calm do they feel safe again. But you no longer play that game. You have risen above it. True calmness is the end of the need to prove yourself. You no longer need to win an argument. You don't need agreement. You don't need praise nor to be understood. You listen without absorbing negativity. You are present without being pulled into others' emotions. When you no longer need anything from the world loses its power over you. And in that moment, true power arises, not the power of intimidation, but of self-mastery. Others feel your energy like a mirror. In your stillness, they see their own turbulence reflected. Some will be drawn to it, others will feel uneasy, but all will be affected. Imagine walking into a room full of conflict. Voices raised, tension thick in the air. You don't need to say a word. You simply sit down, breathe slowly, keep your gaze steady, and something magical happens. Voices lower, speech slows, the energy settles. You haven't forced anyone to change. Your presence alone recalibrates the room. Then you understand that calmness is not just for you, it is a gift you offer the world. In every conversation, every conflict, every crisis, you are the one who restores rhythm, who grounds the energy, who helps others find themselves again. You no longer try to calm others, you are the reason they calm down. But remember, this journey has no end. Every day, every decision, you still choose between calm and chaos, between reaction and mastery, between being a victim of emotion or its guide. Choose calm, again and again, until you no longer need to choose. Because when calmness becomes your nature, nothing in the world can unbalance you. And that is when you'll know you've reached the highest form of strength, the power of silence. The power that changes others simply through your presence.